Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmIOverreacting for you all. As per usual, I'll be going through the post, giving you my opinion at the end, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Anakai. Am I overreacting for not wanting to pay my 13-year-old sister $1,000? I, 17 female, am being told by my parents that I need to pay my sister, 13 female, $1,000. When my sister told me, I thought it was a joke. But my mom confirmed to me that it was serious. I absolutely refused, but my sister made them a PowerPoint presentation and showed them, explaining why I owe her that money in cash. And they agreed that I owe her that money. Well, why do I owe her, you ask? Did I break something expensive of hers? Did I make a stupid bet? No, because she offered to do my hair. She helped me in combing out my locks. I had 200 plus, so I say she did around 100. Mind you, she was the one begging my mom to let her help me take them out, since I previously did not have permission from her to do so. Back then, she made a whole presentation on why I should be able to. When it was confirmed, we got right to work. And yes, it was supposed to be begging. OP did confirm that in the comments. After that, she helped me get my hair ready by blowing it out, styling it with a flat iron, and put it on twists. All of which was done voluntarily. I did not ask for her to do so. Now, she decided that I owe her $1,000 for the labor and my parents agreed. Well, technically $5,000, but I got a family discount. And they're serious about it. I plan to get a job this summer and they say I'm in debt and likely won't allow me to spend any money. Only give it to her. After I told my mom that, hey, she literally offered these services I apparently need to pay for, and now we're having a family trial. So I quite literally have to present my case, and my stepdad will be the judge. This whole thing is so fucking stupid, and I don't even plan on paying her $1,000 if she does win. Why would I do that? How will I even do that? I just want to know, am I overreacting? OP is certainly not overreacting if it was actually done voluntarily, even if it wasn't, just still, like, good God. And the fact that they're doing a little mock family court with the stepdad is just ridiculous. Honestly, OP should just threaten to get a real lawyer involved and use the $1,000 to fucking do that instead. Commenter Dogs Duck kind of goes along this route, but they give some decent advice here. There was no price agreed upon in advance. If you're having a family trial, she does not have a case because there was absolutely zero expectation of payment discussed. However, here's what you do. If this is precedent they want to set, when you come to that trial with a presentation of your own, you make an invoice for every favor that you've ever done anyone in your family in the last 6 months. Here's a link for an unpaid labor calculator. Here are some basic labor costs you can use to calculate the time you've spent helping her. I think you should also post this on r/legal advice, explain that you are 17 and your family is making you have a trial for this. I bet you'll get some awesome lawyers to help you cite the actual laws that would apply. Also, let them know that if this stands, going forward, you will not risk any interactions that could be constructed as anyone doing you a favor as to risk going further into debt. You will also not be providing any services or favors without a pre-established invoice. In fact, you'll have to just start recording every conversation with your sister while you make sure she's not expecting payment for something. Maybe if she'd made it clear up front, but she wanted $20 to help you, that's fine. I'm not opposed to being paid to help you at all. It's the fact that she used total deception and then demanded an absurdly greedy amount. Hell, I don't even fucking think real stylists get paid that. Hell, actually, her sister should have to provide her cosmetology license and prove that she's actually licensed to receive payment for the work that she did. Like, hell, if they actually want to go the whole legal route, then, go full in on it. The fact that your parents are even allowing this is just fucking absurd. This situation is crazy, right? I'm not going insane. You, as the commenters, the audience, how would you handle going about this situation? Because this feels just ridiculous, and the fact that the parents are even entertaining this is just bewildering to me. Jimothy McNugget. Am I overreacting for telling my wife to never take our son to that doctor again? Our baby is sick. He's getting better now. Just a cold, but his cough and sore throat was pretty bad. My wife took him to the doctor whilst I was at work. My wife mentioned in passing afterwards that the doctor suggested giving him honey. My wife said she wouldn't risk that, as he's only 9 months old. The doctor was confused and actually Googled it right in front of my wife. The doctor said she never knew honey was unsafe for infants and was all casual about it, like, oh well, you learned something new. On hearing this from my wife, who also was pretty casual about it, I was somewhat disturbed and said that our son would not be seeing that doctor again, as she is clearly incompetent. I think that is something you really should know as a doctor. Now, she's a GP, not a pediatrician, but still, a doctor should definitely know that honey is unsafe for babies. I know it and knew it before I even had kids, and I'm a mechanic. My wife played it down like it's no big deal, but I was saying it's quite disturbing and I don't want to see that doctor again. As a super quick footnote, OP is not American, which is why they're taking their infant child to a general practitioner and not a pediatrician. Just thought I would quickly explain it there because I had the same question. Now, give or take maybe 8 or 9 months ago, there was a post in this channel where I mentioned the fact that I'm uncomfortable with the idea of a doctor having to look something up in the middle of like any kind of exam or surgery, or that it was uncommon. Which there were many people in the comments who corrected the fact that no, it's actually common for doctors to look things up when they're uncertain. So it's because of this common thread from quite a while ago that I'm gonna kind of just ask the question. Would you rather have a doctor that is willing to actually check their ego and Google something if they're wrong? Or a doctor that's willing to double or triple down on something and just ignore any source of exterior information with the assumption they're solely correct? Because obviously you take the doctor who would Google something, but at the same time, I do feel like not giving honey to a child should be common knowledge within the medical profession, especially if you're actively caring for infants, because to my understanding, it can cause botulism. And I feel like that's a pretty important thing for you to know if you're giving advice on infant care. It does definitely worry me how often this advice was given to other parents by this doctor, and while I commend them for Googling it to correct themselves, it's still something that does bother me quite a bit. And I feel for something as important as this in particular, I think it is entirely fair for OP to wish to seek out another doctor to care for their infant child. So in my opinion, I feel like this is not an overreaction. Bree92. Am I overreacting for pressing charges that might ruin someone's life? Okay, so there was this girl I know, saying girl, but she's actually a 43 female, who I had met through a group of not-so-close friends. We had hung out a few times, and to be honest, I don't really like her. She seemed really selfish and self-involved, lacked a lot of common sense, like she would constantly fall for scams and didn't know how to Google a cell phone number, and eventually revealed herself to have some really gross viewpoints. I decided to cut her out completely last fall. I've ignored her since then, but last night, the girls I met her through came to my apartment, and surprise! They invited her without telling me. We were just there to pregame before going out, which should have been fine. However, at some point during the night, I caught her coming out of the master bedroom. When I asked what she was doing, she mentioned she was using the bathroom. This made very little sense because there was a much closer empty bathroom to the front of the apartment, but I thought maybe she was drunk. I should note, she was holding a book bag. Anyway, we went out and later that evening, I got back. My fiancé is away, so I had the place to myself. I was getting ready for bed when I realized something. My medication, some expensive jewelry, and cash were all gone from the sideboard in the bedroom. In total, it was about $10,000 worth of things, including really important presents to me. I immediately suspected the girl and called her. She played dumb, but I said I had a home security system after a break-in. Total lie, but it was all I could think of. And I had her on tape stealing last night when she was in the master bedroom. She completely folded and started making excuses for herself. Well, I had also recorded the phone call, and after saying I wanted all my things back, I called the police, who I spent most of today's morning speaking with. In short, I can file charges and she might get grand larceny as well as other charges, especially because she took controlled prescription drugs, Valium and a small amount of serious painkillers. It doesn't look like this would go to trial, especially since I live in a one-party consent state for recording and have her admitting to taking my things on recording. However, she would likely have this on her record, have to pay fees, etc., and lose her job. With this on her record, she also wouldn't be likely to get another job. Right now, I'm completely furious and actually want that for her, but if she returns all the stuff she stole to the very last dollar in pill, then I feel like chasing down all these charges would be me ruining her life because I don't like her. So, am I overreacting for wanting her to be charged? Update 1. She mentioned she doesn't have all the medication that she took in a very recent text to me, as I took your advice and just WhatsApped her, saying that I wanted everything down to the dollar and pill. She also doesn't have all the stolen cash because she's used some of it last night. It sounds like after I left the club, she stayed on for a bit and then taxied to her place in a different borough. She did say her mother could Venmo me, but the whole thing is a mess and her reaction hasn't been apologetic at all. It seems pretty obvious she's panicking because she knows I went to the cops / want to press charges. And the job that she would lose is being an elementary school teacher. In our state, they do extensive background checks, source being my friends who are teachers. So there's no way any charges wouldn't come up. Update 2. I wanted to reply to everyone one by one since this has really been eating on me, and I really appreciate all your advice since the situation has been a complete nightmare. She is coming to my place at around 7 unless she decides to flake, but has been contacting me non-stop through various channels, begging me to not go to the police. One problem here is that she already admitted to taking some of my medications, and as one kind Redditor pointed out, I would need a police report to get those sort of controlled meds prescribed again. The drug thing is also especially bad since she took all of my prescriptions, including ones that wouldn't get you high / can't be sold, but I need to manage daily chronic illness. My fiance said that maybe since she knows I need them and I previously cut her out, she did that as revenge, but I have no idea. My fiance and twin sister are planning to be at the apartment when she comes, but this whole thing has been upsetting and stressful and had an impact on my work and just has made me second guess myself. Anyway, thank you again for all the advice and I will reply directly. Also, I agree that I need to find out what she was planning to do with the drug since she's around young children. I already was nervous she teaches elementary school in New York City because of the aforementioned viewpoints she has that made me originally cut her out. Update 3. Long story short, I am pressing charges. She did come by my apartment when I had people over to give back my things and what was left of the medication and cash. I didn't let her pass the lobby and had also told my doorman about what happened, who are amazing. And we're keeping eyes on the entire situation as well. Anyway, I am taking the majority of the amazing advice I have received on this board and pressing charges or not dropping whatever charges are in place since I filed the police report. As other people in this board stated, I needed to go to the police no matter what or I wouldn't be able to get refilled prescriptions. And as even more people on this board stated, I shouldn't trust any of the drugs she did give back to me because she may have tampered with them. Ultimately, I'm going through with the police because even though I couldn't find anything on her criminally after paying for a background check on her, it's likely she's done something like this before or would do it again, and more importantly, she stole drugs and she works with young children. If something happens, it's on me for not doing anything, and this, combined with her past behavior, it makes me wonder if something more is going on. I completely have sympathy for anyone battling with addiction, but at the end of the day, that's not more important than the kids she works with, or the fact that I'm battling with chronic illness. I was able to get emergency refills of 3 days of the non-controlled pills from my CVS earlier today, but I still have to go ASAP to 2 different doctors with the police report come Monday, which means time off a job I just started, and it's just a lot. For what it's worth, the entire interaction with her was awful. I didn't think she seemed apologetic, and that though when I originally confronted her, she said she did it because she was drunk. She now was acting like she did it as a joke. She did start crying, which made me feel worse, but I still want to go through with the police. Anyway, I seriously appreciate everyone who took the time to read through this entire saga because it has been incredibly upsetting and draining. All of your advice was really and truly helpful, especially in getting me to see I needed to go through with charges and to be super wary of any medication I got back from her / next steps. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really, I needed this wake-up call. Yes, the funniest prank to pull on someone, obviously, is stealing all their chronic illness medication, several $1,000s worth of cash, jewelry, and whatever else you can fit in your bag. Funny prank. But bullshit excuses aside, like the moment that medication was taken, like even if it was just a single bottle of medication, a police report should be filed because she is stealing a controlled substance. And I do understand OP's hesitation because there is the fear of like, is this really something to ruin someone's life over? But they did steal chronic illness medication from you. And I would say that OP's initial reaction of wanting to file charges against them was by no means overreacting in my opinion. I think that was honestly the correct choice. I should also state my frustration is by no means towards OP. It's by the fact that someone's chronic illness medication was stolen and they tried to write it off as a joke. That really got under my skin. Stopping to get help. Am I overreacting for telling a guy to stop treating us like dogs in front of his family? My mom and I were walking through the park carrying full of picnic gear back to the car, big family. And I heard a whistle. Instinctively, I looked back and saw a family in a golf cart trying to pass us. I moved aside, but my mom didn't notice. Bro then proceeded to keep on whistling loud. Even nearly passing my mom already, he didn't even need her to move. I got really pissed off and yelled at him from behind, "Hey, you stopped treating us like animals and tried talking to us. Do we look like fucking dogs to you?" Mom immediately shushed me and later told me I was making a scene, but I genuinely felt uncomfortable, like I'm being catcalled. I could ignore it once, but seeing him repeating it 4 times to get my mom to move got me pissed the fuck off. Only after they passed, I saw a mom and a few kids in the back looking awkward, and I feel kinda bad I cursed at their family member in front of them. I do think it was a good lesson for him, and he shut up really quickly after that. Anyway, I'm conflicted. So, am I overreacting? Should I have ignored it and let him go do his thing, even if it made me uncomfortable? I think I'm going to leave the general opinion on this one to the audience, because as someone who's 6'3", 6'4", if I straighten my posture, I don't really get treated this way, and I don't know how I would react if I got treated this way. I feel like the mom and kids were probably giving you the awkward look because they were embarrassed by their father/husband's actions and how they treated you. I mean, they got first-hand witness to him treating someone that they don't even know like, well, trash, like an animal. And with the way you reacted, it probably just further cemented how awkward the situation was in general. And that's not on you. And just to clarify, when I say I don't have the experience, I just don't know how I would react in a situation like this. I don't know what my first instinct would be. Honestly, it would probably just be to give them a dirty and confused look of like, what the hell is your problem? My gut intuition tells me that they're not overreacting and that this was a justified response. It might be a bit aggressive and on the nose, but sometimes that's what's warranted in a situation like this. So I'd be curious to see what you guys think. Sad bloke from US. Am I overreacting? My stepdad was caring for my dog while I was on vacation, and he stole my underwear. So, I, 25 female, was on vacation for a little over a week, and I had asked my stepdad to go over to our house every other day to play frisbee/run my dog. My significant other's parents were going 2 times daily as they lived next door. I was checking the cameras on day 4 to see what time my stepdad came, and I saw him digging in my laundry basket. Lo and behold, he was stealing my dirty underwear from my clothes hamper. I immediately called my mom and said, "Stepdad stole my underwear from my hamper, and I have it on video." She immediately said she did not want to see it, and went to confront him. To which he lied, and she then asked to send the video footage. I did, and all she could say was, "He said he didn't steal them, but I don't believe him, and I'm disgusted." She apologized and said she hoped it didn't ruin my vacation, and if we're being real, the only time I didn't think about it was when I was at least 2 vodka Red Bulls deep. She told me not to tell anyone, but I had already showed my significant other, and he was obviously fucking disgusted. Now, here's the thing. We have not talked about it since, and it's eating me up. I obviously don't want to cut ties with my mother because 1, I love her and she's my best friend, and 2, it is not her fault that her husband is a pervert. He has been in my life since 2006, like living with me until I moved into my dad's in 2016. We have always had a great relationship, and this is hurting me mentally and physically. I literally have the nervous, agonizing shits all day, all the time. If I stop showing up to family events that he's at, my family will be so fucking pissed and think I'm the worst, but if I tell them, my mom will be absolutely heartbroken. I cannot just seal this up and move on. I pretty much know I'm not overreacting in any scenario of this, and honestly, I just need advice and don't know what other thread to post this on. I don't want him to go to jail or any of that, I just want to beat him up or pop his tires or I don't know, something that would make him as upset as he's made me. Fuck all of this. There is not a tangent that I could give that sums it up better than this comment here. Torrential WX. Jesus Christ, girl, I am so sorry. This sucks horrifically. To have a father figure violate your trust so profoundly is earth-shattering. I've had a close experience, but not quite this bad. Shit. Therapy. This is above Reddit's abilities. We can give advice, some good, but you're going to see some unnecessary bullshit from incel trolls too, and to be honest. A therapist can help you navigate how to deal with this with your mother. In my opinion, and I am not a professional by any means, but again, just unfortunately similar life experiences. Unless your mother cuts ties soon, your relationship will never be the same. Maybe your mom is getting her shit together to leave. Please, God. But I think a therapist, again, guiding you would be best. For a while, document everything. That sucks to say about your mom, but denial can do crazy shit to people's brains. Even, disgustingly, when it's regarding their own children's health and safety. Do not talk to your mother alone. You need your significant other, dad, older/same-age sibling, if any, or significant other's parents with you. Not too many people to make your mom feel ganged up on and immediately defensive, but to make sure you don't get gaslit. And there's someone of sound mind to advocate for you in case your mom says something off the rails, like backtracking, and it sends you reeling. I'm so sorry, this fucking sucks. Also, edit to add regarding the not telling anyone, fuck that. Go scorched earth on his ass. Burn him. Anyone who says to keep it quiet does not have your or any other woman's best interest at heart. I pretty much agree with this entire comment here because this is just a fucking revolting situation to find yourself in. Like, this is a massive perverted breach of privacy from someone at one point who is meant to essentially be your father figure in there to protect you. I don't know how you would cope with this because this is rough. And yeah, I agree with the statement of, fuck keeping it quiet. Why should OP have to suffer for the actions of her stepfather? Because by her not outing what he fucking did and then having to essentially exclude herself from family gatherings because she can't look him in the eyes, why should she have to suffer and deal with the ire of everyone else when he's the one who did the fucking disgusting thing? And like, he knows he got caught red-handed too. It's not like this is some secret that the mom wants to keep quiet from everyone and just between her and the daughter. The mom confronted him. So he knows. She knows. And that has gotta just be fucking chewing away at OP. If you were in this scenario, how the hell would you handle it? Like genuinely. This post pissed me the fuck off. And it's not for the reason you think. Posted by user ZestyCloseTart5745. ZestyClose-TART-5745. Am I overreacting for breaking down at my daughter's school after they displayed her art project dedicated to my real mom when I'm just the stepmom? I'm sitting in my car crying my heart out while typing this. I, 34 female, have been married to my husband, 36 male, for 3 years. He has a daughter, Lily, 9, whose biological mom left when she was 2 and hasn't contacted them since. I've been in Lily's life since she was 5 and I've tried so hard to be a good mom for her. Today was the school's art exhibition. Lily had been working on a secret project for weeks. When we arrived, we found her artwork. A beautiful, hand-painted ceramic heart with flowers. The placard read, "Heart for Mom" by Lily. I made this for my real mom, who I miss every day, even though I don't remember her. I hope she sees it from heaven. I feel like I'd been punched in the stomach. I was devastated, and I really mean it. Her mom isn't dead. She's living in another state. I completely lost it and had to rush out of the gymnasium before sobbing in front of everyone. The art teacher explained that Lily initially made the heart for me, but changed the dedication after talking with a friend who lost her mom. Lily told the teacher she didn't want to hurt her friend's feelings. I understand she's just a child, but this hurts so much. I recently finally paid off my credit card balance, which was a pretty big amount, and I even hit a pretty big win, close to 3K, on Rolling Riches. So I was feeling good about life. But this emotional setback feels so much worse than any financial struggle. 3 years of being there for every moment and I'm still not real enough? Am I really overreacting, or is it okay that I feel heartbroken? So I dug into this motherfucker's post history, by the way, and both their posts revolve around them just coincidentally earning a shit ton of money in slots. Kind of crazy they won 3K on Rolling Riches. Oh, but guess what? Guess what? 11 days ago, you want to know something crazy? That just happened to have not been mentioned fucking once? 11 days ago, they hit a big win on Jackpot City for $12,000 and are now looking to buy an SUV or crossover that won't destroy them on maintenance. So either A, this is an undisclosed gambling ad, or B, they won $12,000, decided to buy a new car, and then won $3,000 a few days later and decided, oh, maybe I should pay off my credit card debt. Oh, crazy. Fuck you. I fucking hate these gambling ads and how they're inserting themselves in the day-to-day basis. They are a predatory service that preys off of people who are in desperate need of financial support, and they insert themselves on bullshit like this so that way they can maybe pick up someone who's in a low spot in their life and manipulate them so they drop extra money that they don't have to burn on slots. It's a predatory bullshit business, and they're finding ways to get free advertisement on Reddit, and there's no way to report this shit. If you ever see a Reddit post and out of nowhere, it's like, recently I just came into a lot of money on insert gambling app here, it's fake. The point of the post is a gambling app. It's to make someone who's in a desperate financial situation read that and think, oh shit, this person won $3,000 on a gambling app? Oh, maybe I can get just as lucky as them. This entire marketing scheme is predicated on taking advantage of the desperation of people who are in need, and it is fucking disgusting. I hope to God Reddit adds some kind of fucking button to report this kind of shit, because this is an undisclosed ad, without a doubt. And how dare they weaponize the anxieties of a step-parent in order to get clicks to view their bullshit fucking ad? How dare you? Palate cleanser post. Posted by Singbots. Am I overreacting for getting a little annoyed that my boyfriend catapulted my grandma into the sun? So my boyfriend, 27 male, built this big trebuchet in our backyard. He's really into medieval warfare, whatever. And during Sunday dinner, he said my grandma, 78 female, was throwing off his aura with her chewing. So he launched her into the actual sun. Like, she's just gone now. I said, hey, maybe don't do that. And he rolled his eyes and said I never support his hobbies, and this is why he can't open up emotionally. Now he's sleeping on the couch and telling people I overreacted to a minor family adjustment. Am I overreacting? Honestly, yeah, I'd say that OP is definitely overreacting here. I mean, seriously, like, God forbid a man have his hobbies. And obviously the grandma here is just clearly the asshole. I mean, seriously, who chews with their mouth? Disgusting. Honestly, she had it coming getting launched into the actual sun. Personally, also, it just shows how little she's actually involved with her boyfriend's hobby, that she gets catapults and trebuchets mixed up. I mean, seriously, girl, you're just showing how little you care about your boyfriend and what he cares about. No wonder why he's not opening up emotionally to you, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going no contact with you in the process. Like, seriously. Your behavior here is just chock full of red flags, and if I'm going to be honest, I think you two should just break up at this point in time. And in case this wasn't obvious, this is just a for fun parody post, and it's not meant to be taken seriously. Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup. And you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.